Welcome to Mommy's Yum once again. My name is Chioma. If this is your first time, you're very welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about tips for selecting a good lunchbox for your child. This is a topic that is important at this time because school is resuming. I think some people have resumed already in America, in Britain. Some are resuming today that I'm making this video. My children have gone to school. That's why I'm trying to make a video. This is also the first time I'm showing my face in my YouTube channel because I feel it's something that I need to do in order to move my channel forward, because Mommy's Yum, as you know, is all about sharing baby and kid-friendly food ideas. I've been doing that for a long time. Yes, I started Mommy's Yum when I was on maternity leave and I had my baby. I started making homemade food for her and I decided to share some of them because some moms were asking me how I did them. Now my children are grown and they are eating not just baby food, they've grown past the toddler stage too, so we are on the school age group now. So my recipes will also be towards that. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be making baby recipes as always. I still have my archive. I'll still share that. But if you go to my website mommysyum.com, you are always going to get a lot of recipes there. Today I'm going to be talking about tips for selecting a good lunchbox because, yeah, like I said, it's time for back to school. I'm sure we've bought our school uniforms, bought our school bags, bought our lunch boxes. What kind of lunchbox are you buying for your child? What consideration did you put in mind when getting a lunchbox for your child? If you had any consideration, please drop it in the comment box. I would like to know what you thought about, things you considered before making your purchase. So like I said, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Before we start, as always, please give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to Mommy's Yum if you haven't done so. To my old subscribers, thank you always for coming back. And let me start. I think I'm going to remove my glasses. I look like a school teacher. Not that school teachers are bad. They are the best things in the world. I really can't do the job they are doing because they are really doing good. So the first thing to consider when you are buying a lunch box for your child is to be sure that it is well made, it has a good structure, it is sturdy and durable. Imagine your child dropping their lunchbox as they are running, or maybe they are going to school and everything spills or the lunchbox breaks. That's not good. As much as we look at cost when buying things, it's always important to balance it. A sturdy lunchbox and a well-structured lunchbox will definitely be more expensive, but think of it this way: when you buy that expensive one, it's going to last more than those ones that are maybe less expensive or maybe very flimsy. I have a lunchbox that I use for my children and they've had it for like 3-4 years now. Like 3 years now. They've used it for 3 years and it's still good, and it's a good purchase for me because I'm not buying lunch boxes every year for them or buying flasks for food for school lunch every year. This makes it easy, this makes it better. So find a well-made lunchbox, a lunchbox that is quite sturdy and strong and very durable, one that the clasp will not open whenever they are moving, or maybe any little thing it will break off. Sometimes you have to spend more to get a better quality. Now another tip is insulation. If you are going to be giving your child hot food, you need to think about what kind of lunchbox or flask that you buy for your child. You need to consider buying one that can keep that food hot for at least 5 to 6 hours. Keeping it that longer will help your child to enjoy their meal very well. So if you are going to be giving your child hot food, it's worth investing in a flask that is well insulated, a flask that can keep that food hot and very, very okay until the time for their school lunch. Now, there are certain things you can do to help a flask also be very insulated. I have a flask which I use for my kids, and what I normally do is I first of all, before putting their food, I boil hot water, pour into it, cover the flask and leave it for at least 5 to 10 minutes. That way the hotness of the food will be retained when I pour away the water and put their food. So this is a simple tip that can help you to keep your child's food hot for longer. And yeah, it's something that you can think about when you are buying the flask, and also the flask that you have, you can also help to prolong the time that the food keeps hot in that lunchbox. So for cold food, yeah, you can use normal plastic lunch bags for the cold food, maybe like sandwiches and wraps and all that. And then if your child is going to school with yogurt or smoothies and all those ones that needs to be cold at every point, you may consider freezer, maybe freezer packs. There are some freezer packs, they are nice ones that are very colorful for kids that you can always buy in the shops. Or you can just freeze maybe a water bottle, put it in the freezer to block, and then you can put it there to help keep the food cold or keep their drinks and smoothies cold. Also, the lunch bag is good. If you have a lunch bag that has a good insulation, that would also help to keep food cold and as well keep the hot food warmer for the child. I've talked about study and well-structured lunchbox, and another thing with that is that you have to make sure that it is leak-proof and airtight, especially for younger kids. Well, not only younger kids, I think it applies to every child, because if your child is going to school with their lunch in their school bag, make sure that you get a lunchbox that can close very well, is leak-proof. Leak-proof means that the liquid or anything cannot seep out from the food and maybe stain the bag or stain their books, stain their, it can be quite messy. So you have to consider that. Make sure that it is quite leak-proof. Another tip is that you have to look for a lunchbox that is easy to open and close. I once put a snack pot for my daughter. I put her favorite fruit in it, which I know she loves to eat. And then she came back with it. And I was like, why didn't you eat your fruit? And she said, Mommy, I couldn't open it because I gave her a pack that was quite difficult for her to open. She didn't have a snack in school. So this is something that we have to think about. When you are buying these lunch boxes and snack boxes, you have to make sure that it is something that your child can easily open when they are in school. So one way to go around this is to see if you can teach your child at home how to open and close it. You can do a tutorial and get her to learn how to do it, because sometimes it can be something they can easily do, but because they've not been shown how to do it, you see them struggling and trying to do that, and it gets them frustrated. Imagine a hungry child not having to eat because they cannot open their lunch pack. So one tip is to buy a lunch pack that is easy to open and also easy to close, so that if they don't finish their food, they will be able to close it up also. Now, another tip is size. Your child's tummy. So when you are buying a lunch box, buy one that can fit the quantity of food your child will be able to eat, so that they don't waste food. If you buy a big one, there's a tendency that you overfill that and your child will come back leaving some food, and you are wondering why they're not eating, but it's because you've put too much for them. Also, if your child is a big eater, please buy a bigger one. Buy the one that will be able to contain the food that will be able to fill them up during their lunch, so that you don't give them too little and you get them, when they finish eating, they will still be feeling hungry. So my battery just went off, so I went to make myself a cup of something to drink before I start again. If you want to know what I'm drinking, this is a mix of pineapple bark, grapefruit and lemon. I normally have it in the morning just to flush my system, or just that's my early morning drink before having my breakfast. So that's it. The next tip I was meant to talk about is the compartments. It's always good to have a lunch box that has different compartments. That way you can put different things for your child. Normally a big compartment for the main meal, and then one where they can put their fruits, and then maybe any other snack that they want. Normally it's really good to do that. It makes it easy, it makes it less messy when you have compartments, so that your child's food will not just, mumble and jumble over in one compartment, like I said. So if they're having fruits, vegetables, you can put the main food, you put their snack or fruits and vegetables. If they're having yogurt, you can put it on one of them. If they're having a dip with their snack, you can put it on another compartment. It makes things look, really nice and more presentable to the child when they are eating. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the plastic containers that we use for our children's food. It's always good to buy BPA-free containers. BPA-free stands for bisphenol A, and it's an industrial chemical that is used in making plastics. And most times when we heat food or put hot food into these plastics, this chemical leaches into it. And there are a lot of health concerns according to research which discusses to children in relation to their brain and also possible behavioral problems. So we don't know. So research has said that, and we just have to be careful when you are buying plastic containers. Look out for the label that says it's BPA free. Okay, it's better. Or if you are going to be using plastic containers, make sure you don't put hot food in it. If you are sure it's not BPA free, use it for their cold sandwiches and not for their hot food. That makes it better. Actually, like we said, it's actually not good for hot food because it's going to get cold before the child eats it. So you buy a well insulated flask for your child for their hot food. So finally, the last thing is, don't forget to buy a lunchbox that is fun for your child. When you buy lunchboxes that are fun for them, it will make them to open their food and at least look at what you've given them. So look for lunchboxes that have their favorite characters or their favorite colors on them. Something that will interest them in the lunchbox is always good. But before you do that, you have to consider the most important things before you now do this. So don't buy a fun lunchbox that will not stand the test of time. Don't buy a fun lunchbox that will break apart easily. That means you're wasting your money. So I hope these tips are something that are very helpful to you mom out there. If you liked this video, please consider also giving it a thumbs up as always, and also don't forget to subscribe. And thank you. See you in my next video. Bye. It's a bit difficult for me. I'm just trying to get the words.